Have your seedlings ever gotten a little leggy? Hi, I'm Valerie with Now Gardening, and today we're here to talk about two different methods for saving your seedlings and getting them back in shape so that they'll still be ready to plant outside when the weather warms. First, I'd like to give you an update on the video I posted a couple of weeks ago in which we looked at two different methods of sowing seeds indoor. One method was using recyclable materials and the other was using store-bought materials. As you can see, all the seeds germinated. The mixed greens took about 2 days, I believe, and the tomatoes were up in 5. However, the problem is that we had to go away for a few days, and during that time, they did not get enough sunlight, and so they grew a little leggy. As you can see, the white spindly stalks, these are not going to be good for planting outside if they continue like this. So we're here to look at two methods today. My plan is to compare these methods over the next few weeks and see how the seedlings actually grow and develop, and maybe come out at the end with a conclusion of which method works better. I'm an experimental gardener, so I love to experiment with different methods. Here, since I have these tomato seedlings that are in an organic yogurt container, I'm going to divide them, and I'm going to take half of them and keep them here for the one method that we'll try. And I'll take the other half and transplant them here so that we can compare the two different methods of salvaging these seedlings and not wonder later if it was really because of the containers that they were in. I will do the same thing with these, replace them in an identical container. Since I don't have another one of these containers, I'm going to make 2 extra rows to transplant these seedlings. So let's get started. As you see here, I remove each of the seedlings and bury the leggy part of the stem. I'm very careful when removing the seedling not to damage the roots. And I bury it all the way up to the green leaves as much as possible. I do the same thing for the mixed salad, except I discard the ones with poor roots and keep only those that have strong root systems. Once again, I bury the seedling as much as possible up to the green part of the leaves. And here I create a row in which I will replant the seedlings. Once again, I follow the same process. I bury the leggy part of the stem as much as possible up to the green leaves. I do this for both the tomato seedlings and for the mixed greens, mixed lettuce seedlings. As you can see here, some of them I left as leggy as ever so that we can try out our method number 2. And some of these have been replanted with the majority of their leggy stem beneath the soil and just the nice green head showing at the top. Same here for the salad. And you'll see here, this is where the leggy tomato plants I left here, but here are the ones that I have replanted in between. The second method does not involve replanting the seedlings, but in fact, just putting them beneath a grow light, exposing them to some cooler air, and letting them grow stronger stems over time. I have placed the seedlings beneath a grow light and opened a window to allow a cool current of air. In the next few weeks, we will see if this is enough to allow the leggy seedlings to develop normally, or if the best method is to replant them early on to allow them to have a normal development. Stay tuned for the update. So it's been 2 weeks since we started the leggy seedling experiment, and today I'm excited to show you the results before I start repotting these successful seedlings. The first group I'd like to show you are a group of tomato seedlings that we replanted. These we planted up to the green leaves and buried all of the leggy stem. As you'll see here, they have developed nicely. They have fur on the stems as well as on the leaves. The leaves there's actually several leaves per plant now, and they are growing much more robust than they were 2 weeks ago. However, the interesting result is that these, which we did not replant, but we just simply put under a grow light with a cool current of air on them during the day, have also become much more robust over time. As you'll see, they're now upright. They have a lot of fur on their leaves and on their stem, and several leaves per each plant. So these are also looking very healthy after a 2-week period, just by being exposed to air and grow light. The second group I'd like to show you is the mixed salad group. And so here, same thing, these are the ones that we replanted. Each seedling now has a few leaves on it, starting to develop real leaves. This one is not doing very well, but these two seem to be doing quite well. Have gotten a lot of growth, and their size has increased significantly. These, on the other hand, were not replanted, but were just left leggy as ever, and also put in under the same conditions where we had a grow light and a cool current of air. They're still growing, they are growing, but not as much compared to these. And if you'll see too, they've just really kind of given up. They're lying over, the stems are so weak that they can't support themselves, so they're just lying over. So unlike the tomato plants, these did not kind of become more robust when they were exposed to the cool air and to the grow light. Although they continue to develop, they did not develop strong stems like the tomato plants did. Here's another example. This might be a little bit harder to see because they're getting crowded. That's why I'm going to repot them today. But this row and this row were our tomato seedlings that we left leggy. Same thing here for the most part. The seedlings are pretty robust now and have multiple leaves on each plant. Very furry on the leaves and on the stem. This one just never quite recovered. He's never been able to stand up straight, but he's still growing, but he's just a little bit weak. These are the same. All of them standing up right now. You don't see any remnant really of that leggy seedling that we had a couple of weeks ago where they were just lying over or reaching towards the sun. These are the ones that we replanted, and really you can't tell much difference except that these are shorter because we replanted them and buried the leggy stems. But same thing, these have very healthy leaves, several leaves per plant, and a nice robust stem. Change this so we can see for the salad. Salad, just like the one I just showed you, very similar result. The ones that were left leggy continue to grow but are just really limp and hanging in there. This guy here, they're just kind of hanging in there. Where the ones that were replanted, although they're being a little bit pushed out by the tomato plants, they're actually they're robust plants. They have several leaves on them now, and they're able to stand up straight, except that they're now being pushed over by the tomato plant. So we're going to correct that today and get them repotted. So that's it, guys. I hope this video has been useful to you to learn a couple of different methods of salvaging your leggy seedlings.